Hey everyone, I know I said I would post a video every week, but I accidentally got attacked by a Trojan horse. Yeah, last week, and I didn't know why that happened. I wasn't on any suspicious sites. Anyways, due to that, I was shut down for a while until Mr. Bitdefender saved me from the virus. So I was trying to watch Dragon Ball Z, but somehow this movie from South Korea known as Super Kid came on instead, and well, it definitely felt as long as a fight scene from Dragon Ball. This movie was made in 1994, and it somehow took 3 years to produce. And trust me, they remind you with all the posters of how long it took. You see, the whole reason this atrocity was created in the first place was because following the end of Japanese rule in 1945, the South Korean government created a law which banned Japanese media, including Japanese manga and anime. Throughout the 1970s, South Korea's own animation industry began to flourish, which borrowed heavily from Japanese anime style. Many Korean animated films also integrated unauthorized usage of Japanese anime characters and their likenesses. In the late 1980s, with the relaxation of government censorship in cinema and South Korean films achieving international audiences for the first time, the South Korean animation industry intended to gain a major foothold in the market alongside the United States and Japan, and thus begun the production of Super Kid in 1991, and was produced with the intent for worldwide distribution and eventual franchise expansion, but the expansion never occurred. Although a 52-episode animated series developed by Alex Massis and Rosie and Lee Studios was to follow the movie, but was soon abandoned, probably because the movie's pretty bad. The ban of Japanese anime and manga was lifted from 1998 to 2004. It just took a little bit of time. They slowly stopped the ban. So a few years after the release of Super Kid, we finally got rid of the ban. So, wow. I guess that movie was so bad it impacted South Korean legislature. The English dub was by the Ocean Group and was released in 1995. Yeah, the group that did the original dubbing for Dragon Ball Z. So you might recognize a few voices. Hey Goku, I mean Godari. Why do you sound like Kid Trunks? And why does Bulma, Unjo, have Goku's voice? Super Kid fell into obscurity for years after its video release. It doesn't even have a DVD or Blu-ray release. But the movie has gained notoriety since the movie surfaced on YouTube. Yes, someone bothered to buy one of those converters for a VHS to computer. Someone actually wanted everyone else to suffer along with them. Anyways, it's been criticized as a ripoff of Dragon Ball because it absolutely is, with main character Godari resembling Goku, Unjo resembling Bulma, and Samachi resembling Piccolo. There's a lot of other similarities that I will definitely point out throughout this video. And one funny thing that has nothing to do with Dragon Ball Z is the fact that they used a mech, which they call it a ship, but it's absolutely a mech. And it's from Mazinger Z. I said that wrong. I'm sorry. You know I'm terrible at pronouncing things. But the movie, it's so bad. It even feels like it comes from the 70s. The animation does not look like it belongs in the 90s. And don't get me wrong, there's some stuff that was animated in the 70s that looks great, but this does not. And they brag about the animation on every poster. And I actually want to apologize that I'm going to go through the whole plot of the film, but this movie, it made my brain hurt so much because of how convoluted and stupid it is. I don't want to make you lose brain cells like I did just by watching this atrocity.
Shake. Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to smile. What? Now shake it, right? Bon par par, bon par par, bon par par, bon par par. Respect the beat.
There's a group of superheroes known as the Super Kids, and basically none of them are kids, and they are basically clones of various DBZ characters. There's even an older looking Yamcha with a beard that you only see for like barely 5 minutes of the film. I guess he was as pointless as Yamcha was. There is a Bulma-like character, and I mentioned about her before, Unjo, that is a reporter that is supposed to film the supposed secret superhero team, but funny enough, her computer and her flying car knew everything you could know about the team, and basically none of them, as I said before, are kids. The guy who's supposed to be Goku is like 199 years old. He just looks like a kid. And then Unjo, she has a weird fetish for the ugly bug-eyed alien, Samachi apparently. There's this really weird scene. Here, take a look.
Subject's name, Samachi, a space traveler from the Veda star in the Double X Nebula.
Oh, he's kind of a creepy-looking alien, but I'd date him.
Yeah, that's really weird. I don't even want to know. And also, one thing that really bothered me was the old monk on the team. Apparently, he was kicked out from his monastery for drinking too much. That's whatever. But they make the monk the accountant for this team. Yeah, they're supposedly a secret group, and yet they have a building that everyone knows about, and people pay them with reward money for beating villains. And the monk has a granddaughter. I thought monks were supposed to be celibate. That's from the last time I checked. Anyways, so I'm just going to call Unjo Bulma for now on because that's just much easier. So Bulma finds the group fighting some bad guys, and they basically have forced slapstick comedy throughout the film. They shatter the guy's teeth, and his ultimate attack is farting. I feel like I was watching an American cartoon like Tom and Jerry, except it's bad. Anyways, after collecting a reward for the capture of the two criminals, I'm not even going to bother naming them. I'm sorry. You can look it up on their IMDb. The Super Kids are visited by the police chief and the captain of Planet Delta, who briefed them on their next mission. They are ordered to arrest Joe Dowie, I guess that's how you say his name, the most violent monster in the galaxy. He sold his family for a box of gold. I don't even explain who he sold his family off to or any of that stuff. Anyways, let me just say, it is very hard to make out this character. It's just like the coloring, the lighting in this film, it makes him look like a blob half the time. I thought he was like some weird elephant creature for a minute there. Apparently he's not. I don't know. I just gave up on trying to figure out what he was. Anyways, once fake Goku hears them out, he's convinced that the group should go after this guy, mainly because he wants his box of gold. I don't think they even get the box of gold. Anyways, they finally land on the swamp planet and begin to search for their bounty on a flying carpet. I guess that's their flying Nimbus, but all of them can fly except Bulma, clone reporter. Eventually, the Super Kids encounter a group of the planet's inhabitants. They immediately start blasting a group of them before even realizing they're a friendly species. The Super Kids are so stupid that they attack anybody without even letting them speak. So after picking on the nice, innocent natives, they tell Godari and the Super Kids of their enslavement by Jogawi, having to make regular sacrifices to the creature to feed him. The team then stages a plan to lure out the enemy, disguising Godari as a sacrifice while Unjo documents the entire spectacle. Jogawi comes out of his hiding as planned, but the kids' attempts at capturing him fell as Jogawi's protege, Mao, suddenly appears and battles the Super Kids. One by one, the Super Kids are defeated by Mao, while Jogawi kidnaps fake Bulma and escapes. Mao warns Godari that the captain's warrant for Jogawi is merely a ruse, and warns of Karacruz, Jogawi's rival, who merely waits for his defeat so he can take Jogawi's fortune for himself. He also tells Godari that the captain is Karacruz in disguise and that the Super Kids must defeat him before trying to fight the big bad again. Yeah, it makes no sense that Mao tells him all of this. It's just a bunch of information dump. And it really drags out the film at this point because you get the group to split up into two separate groups where Godari and this rock guy, I didn't even mention about his name. His name is Rockpile. Yeah, Real original name. I guess they didn't want him to steal Rockman from Capcom. But this guy is supposed to be one of their heroes. My best guess is he's supposed to be their Vegeta with zero character development, and he's absent for the battle against the villains at the beginning and is not even seen in the office. But now all of a sudden he's one of the most important characters. Anyways, so those two go and fight Caracruz, and the fight goes down way too long, and it had about the same antics like the first fight in the film. And they double down on it. They even make it where the villain's weakness is his... Give me a second. Why did I watch this piece of movie? The villain's weakness is his fear of ants. I'm just convinced either the writers of this movie were constantly on drugs or they did not care at all. Anyways, Group 2 is led by Bug-Eyed Piccolo and Fat Krillin, and they go to rescue the more annoying Bulma. I don't even know how that's possible. Anyways, they both got a crush on her, so they both want to save her from the villain. They get her away from him while he's sleeping, and of course, her loud mouth wakes him up, and they start their fight against him. They are getting tossed around like ragdolls, and of course, Rock Dude and Godurky show up all of a sudden to save the day. I would just like to point out that to reach the planet that Jogawi was, they originally spent 10 days, but later Godari and Rockpile spent a few hours to reach Earth and Jogawi's planet in a round trip. Also, the animation is so bad, especially in the battle scenes, that this can get very tedious. So this next part is going to be a pain for me because this fight drags out for what feels like forever. So I'm just going to cheat and use an excerpt from Wikipage. The four battle Jogawi in a high-speed chase across the planet before the beast transforms into a tree-like humanoid monster, which makes no sense. Why was he in this weird elephant-looking monster form and then he switches to this tree humanoid? They look nothing alike. Anyways, he captures the Super Kids and destroys Godari's staff. He has a staff that's supposed to be like one of his main weapon that he uses. It can stretch like the staff from Dragon Ball Z. It can do all kinds of different things. I just didn't care to mention about it because it's just so annoying how much this movie copies off of Dragon Ball. Anyways, Mao appears and announces he is tired of his service with Jogawi and wants to help the Super Kids because Godari resembles his long-deceased son. The Super Kids watch as Mao and Jogawi battle, which culminates in Mao extracting a red orb from Jogawi's body. There's the Dragon Ball. I was wondering when that was going to appear. Anyways, so he takes the orb and he ends up in the process killing himself, and somehow Godari's staff magically rematerializes for no explained reason, and Jogawi attacks the Super Kids once again, despite his power orb being destroyed. I thought that was how he got his power. I don't understand this movie anymore. So what happens next is Godari grows into a giant. So apparently Godari can do the giant thing too. So I guess we're also doing Power Rangers. I don't know. And the team beat the monster into submission, finally being captured by Godari's staff, because Godari's staff is like the pot thing that Master Roshi uses to suck in spirits. I don't remember what it's called. I'm sorry. I do like Dragon Ball, but I don't remember all the technical stuff, and I'm not going to go look it up. You know what it is. You know what I'm talking about. He used it in Dragon Ball Super during the Tournament of Power arc. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so apparently his staff can do the same thing. There's a few more things that happen afterwards, but the movie's basically finally done. Finally done. So, should you watch this movie? No, please don't. It is so bad. I can't even laugh at it. And it's free. It's free on YouTube. I mean, not legally, but you know what I mean. I'm sure you can find something more entertaining than that hunking pile of garbage. I'm pretty sure this is the only film that Production ever made. And I wonder why. The animation was a mess of a production. I feel sorry for anyone that was not in charge of the animation team. Whoever was in the animation team that was in charge, shame on you. And also, The writing felt like it was from a 10-year-old that didn't understand what plot consistencies are and tried to make the movie as dumb as possible. South Korea should feel bad that this movie even exists in their history. I even seen North Korean animated shows that were better than this steaming pile of horse dung. I'm sorry. I know. I shouldn't be this upset. This thing was probably worse than Dragon Ball Evolution. Whoever keeps giving me these movies to watch, there's a special place for you. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And as I always say, thank you for letting me get to the root of my geek culture with you.